entitled Friends. Friends, Bob Hasselworth.
Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I have to tell you something that may come as a shock to you, but when I was younger, I was not exactly smooth with the ladies. I can admit that. I was not exactly smooth with anybody, but it really only bothered me with the ladies. In particular, my roommate's sister, Lisa. We all went to college together, so she would come hang out at the dorm. I had a big crush on Lisa, but we didn't really talk much. I was kind of shy, and I kind of got the sense that she would avoid talking to me at all costs. It wasn't a good mix. So I didn't really blame her at the time. Looking back, I was kind of odd. I was kind of quirky. I had a hobby that a lot of people kind of might have called an obsession. Basically, I was really obsessed with who my friends were. A lot of people keep track of who their friends are, but I had an actual list. And not only that, you know, a lot of times it's more organic. You become friends. It just kind of happens. I would actually look somebody in the eye and say, "Would you be my friend?" Usually, it was too awkward to say anything else, so they would say yes. I'd put them on my list, and my list would grow. I'd have my list. I liked my list of friends. It was awesome. After a while, it grew so big that I couldn't even keep track of all my friends. I had so many of them. So I started adding pictures. I needed faces to go with the name, so I'd have a little face next to each picture, next to each name. And that was really cool. It's like a new dimension. I had faces, I had names, I had friends, but I wanted more. I wanted to see pictures of my friends interacting with their other friends, interacting with their families. So I started going to events, taking pictures. I wasn't always invited. I wasn't always inside. But I got some great shots. And I would get my film developed, and I would put all the pictures in photo albums, and I would organize them, and I would keep a list of who was in each picture, and I would alphabetize it, and that was not easy on a typewriter. But I maintained it quarterly because it was my passion, it was my thing. And then one day I realized that every picture I had ever taken took place in the past. It's old news. So I called up a buddy of mine, and I said, "Hey Ed, what are you doing?" He said, "Nothing." That's boring. "What are you doing right now?" "Talking to you?" "No, all right. What were you doing just before I called?" He said, "Oh, well, I've been putting off cleaning the garage forever, but I finally did it, and I got to tell you, now that it's clean, I really like having the extra space." I thought, "Whoa, that is so cool." That just happened, and now I know. That is awesome. I got to go, I got to call more friends. And then something really weird happened. Somewhere out of nowhere, I started talking about myself in third person. I called my buddy John. I said, "Hey, John, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, I just made Belgian waffles with Kathy, and they were delicious." I was like, "Oh, Bob Holsworth likes this." Finally, I turned to my roommate, and I said, "Hey, Mark, what are you doing?" And he said, "Well, I'm looking for a killer app for social media." I said, "Did you say you're looking for a killer who's a social meat eater?" He said, "No, I'm looking for a killer app for social media." I said, "Oh, well, in that case, I have no idea what you're talking about." But he turned to me and he said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I thought, well, that's cool, somebody taking an interest in me. First time anybody's asked that. I said, "Well, I'm, organizing pictures and keeping up with my friends and typing my index. The same stuff I've been doing 8 hours a day for the past 2 years. I'm surprised he didn't notice." But this time, he really got it. And he got all excited, and it was his turn to say, "Whoa, that is so cool." And he told me that he wanted to take my idea and my hobby, and he wanted to put it up on the internet. Not only that, he was really excited, he wanted to make a whole company around it. And he offered me in on the ground floor. And I thought to myself, well, that's stupid. There's no company there, there's no money to be made. I've been doing this for years for free. You don't need a computer. Got my scrapbooks. But still, I knew I had him. He wanted something, I could get something that I wanted. And that is the story of how my roommate, Mark Zuckerberg, invented Facebook, and I got to go out on an awkward date with his sister.